This is the Hive-Engine weekly developer meeting. This is aggroed. It is March 15th in the year of 2021. You're staring at the Discord meeting here. It's a little bit late. We're missing Lion. He's got some private things he's working on. Two updates I wanted to share. Don Chait, who's working on two different smart contracts right now. One is on the DAO or the DHF. This is like, just like Hive has a DAO, an autonomous funding organization. This is decentralized funding organization. I guess I should call it the DFO. This is our way of providing that to all the different token holders. And then the second thing he's working on is the diesel pool rewards. So that's actually gone through 2 rounds of review, and that's going through like one more. So he's saying here later in the week, small update to the distribution contract, so it works with the funding and resolving review items as they come in. So I think we'll have both the DAO and the diesel pool rewards working. Lion is talking about he's in progress for Ethereum deposits and withdrawals into Hive-Engine Classic. That's happening right now. He's not going to be able to join today. What else have we got? I'm waiting on some art for the dolls project. I think it's going to be called DeFi Dolly. So hopefully that comes into existence. Oh, and Ian Warped mentions further down below, he's working on SMTs, like layer 2 SMTs, and his status is that he's in the testing phase, and he thinks he's a week out from having something reviewable. There's a lot of cases to handle, and he's still working through index behavior changes. But there's going to be some limitations, it sounds like, on SMTs, on Hive-Engine. Maybe you won't be able to do, I think it looks like the exponent's going to have to be an integer. So you're either going to do linear rewards exactly at 1 or exponential rewards exactly at 2. And I don't think that there's anything in between. And so hopefully the 3 people in the audience who know what that is understand as to what that means. Other things. Trying to get pools up. Riaz is trying to get the site live. Mancer's working on Ethereum and ERC20s. And Bait's working on a mobile app. There's an auction contract that's supposed to be coming in. Hopefully that's in the not too distant future. And we're just cruising along. I mean, we've had some great volume weeks. The pools are going nicely. One of the pools is about to hit $100,000 worth of volume. And I don't know, there's a couple 100,000, maybe not hundreds of thousands, but there's more than 100,000 Hive locked up, and things keep progressing. So I'm pleased, and that's all without any rewards. So when the rewards get here, I'm hoping that it gets even stronger. All right, Mancer, how's ERC20 development coming along?
All right, so made some good progress over the last week. Before I get into that, I just wanted to mention that I took a little bit of time and did some research on the Binance Smart Chain, and it looks like the differences there are not as great as I had initially feared between that chain and Ethereum. It is pretty much just a clone of Ethereum, and a lot of the tooling has also been cloned. So the Ethereum gateway relies on using the Etherscan API to do a lot of its stuff. And I found out that there's actually a clone of Etherscan for the Binance Smart Chain, and it looks like it has a very similar API. So we may actually be able to adapt the gateway to work with BSC after all. That might not be as huge of a thing as I had initially feared.
That'd be awesome.
That's good news.
I know that's something that Leo Finance is working on, and I'm glad to see that happening. But if we can also provide a service where you can go in and out and hold these things as tokens, we could build all of our ERC20s over here, build all the, what are they, BEP20s, and have them both live on Hive-Engine and get D pools going for all of them so that you could deposit into Hive-Engine, swap to Binance Smart Chain, and keep going with your life, and actually tie that into DSwap so it was all automatic. Like, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yep, it would be pretty great if we could integrate that. One interesting thing I noticed is that ETH can actually exist on both chains. So there's a Binance Smart Chain version of ETH, and it's pretty easy to actually flip it back and forth between the 2 chains. So, there's a lot we can do there.
So is that going to be as simple as replacing a couple like URLs? You know, instead of calling from Etherscan, call from this Binance Smart Chain version of Etherscan.
That's what I'm hoping. I haven't looked into it in a real fine-grained level of detail, so there might be subtle differences in the API and the parameters that you pass in and whatnot. But I'm hoping for the most part it will be pretty close.
That'd be awesome.
So yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, if we can act like a bridge between them, that's pretty swell.
So moving on to the gateway progress itself. Let me paste in the current status. All right, so here's where we're at. The biggest thing that I was focused on last week is that bit you see down at the bottom, restrict swap.xxx creation. So I made a bunch of minor changes to the tokens contract, which have already been deployed. And the biggest of those minor changes was making it so that regular users cannot create tokens with swap in the symbol. So that means nobody will be able to create any fake swap.xxx. Only Hive-Engine accounts will be capable of creating those. And that's going to be important, especially when we get into automating ERC20 token creation. So one of the other things that I did is I was looking at ways of automatically generating token config for ERC20s. So I'm thinking ultimately we want to have some web form on Tribal Dex where someone could say paste in a contract address for an ERC20, and then based on that contract address, the gateway will automatically be able to determine things like the token symbol and the precision and the name of the token. So the burden will not be on the user to look that stuff up themselves. It'll all be handled automatically. And I figured out how to do that by querying various properties of the contract. So that's good. And something that I just started today is modifying the gateway so that it will be able to issue new tokens by itself when needed. So right now we have to manually make sure that the gateway account is kept topped up with a proper number of tokens to handle incoming deposits. And obviously that's not going to be manageable once we start having a large number of ERC20s. So it's going to be really important for the gateway to be able to issue new tokens when it needs to. So that's going to keep me busy for probably the next few days. And then I'll just keep plugging away on it from there. So it's going good.
Yeah. How long before you think we have a back end that we can hand it over to Riaz and just say, hey, dude, it's time for automatic creation of these things?
I'm not quite sure. There's a lot of moving parts and pieces that I need to get into place first. So you can see I'm gradually working my way through the list, but it's probably going to be at least a couple weeks before I have something completely ready.
Okay, and so we can't really add ERC20s until this whole thing is done?
Well, we can. We can always add them manually. So this part that I'm working on now is just the ability to automatically add them for a fee. But right now, their ERC20s are working on the back end, and it just takes 5 minutes to add one manually by adding it to the back-end configuration. The part that's not in place yet is the UI support for that. So in order for people to actually use it, Riaz has to finish a little piece of the UI that's in progress so that you can actually deposit and withdraw these things. But once that piece is in place, and hopefully it won't take him too much longer to finish that, once that's in place, then it just takes 5 minutes to add a new token. So very simple. We can add a few to start with, and then eventually people will be able to do it themselves.
Okay. Yeah. I want to get basic attention token live. That's like a Splinterlands thing. So let's get that.
Sure. I think that's a great one to start with. So once Riaz has the UI in place for that, I'll go ahead and add it.
Yeah, I want to get MakerDAO's DAI in there as well.
Oh, so, yeah, that'd be another good one.
Yeah, because we have HBD, but we need more. We got to get other stuff on there.
Yep, it would be really great to have another stablecoin on there for sure.
Okay, well, keep plugging away at that. Let's count on doing. My guess is that once we've done this, the next thing is to do it all again for Binance Smart Chain, and then the next thing is to do the Wax integration. That would be my bet, and then we can wrap Hive-Engine tokens after all that. But I'm thinking those two things will actually be faster. So let's get those done after this, and hopefully you can power through this stuff pretty quickly.
All right, yeah, that sounds like a good plan to me.
All right. Well, thank you, Manser. That's pretty awesome. Riaz, you want to talk us through what you're doing? We're doing pack manager stuff right now, right?
Hi guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, last week I have been working on the pack manager contract, which is about done. Only the open action and the UI for that is needed to be done. So I'll be uploading some screenshots.
Yeah, I bet the thing was a monster.
Yeah, the contract has changed a lot since the last time I have taken a look on it. So had to do a lot of editing to the old codes. Actually, some of the codes are not usable at all because the way the contract works actually changed. So there is that. But other than that, it's actually coming pretty nicely. I'm uploading the screenshots. If you wanna take a look, you can.
Yeah.
And I actually practicing it with the way Splinter Lens is set up. So you will see Splinter Lens images and names and the categories, also the rarities. But as you said, it's a monster to get done. There is many moving pieces and have to make them work together. Also make the UI a bit easier for average user. They don't have to be a developer to use the interface, but a little bit of knowledge about how the NFT works and how the pack manager contract works required.
Where's all
Actually,
the
try to make the NFT as user friendly as possible.
Where am I? When do I upload the images? Oh, it's all the way at the very end.
Yeah, the image is actually saved on our file server.
Perfect.
You have talked about the IPFS setup, but that's actually not doable because when we will be opening the packs, we do not know what the IPFS CID of the images will be. But if I have managed to make a system in which I can actually able to determine the images from the NFT properties data from the open action. So that's why I have gone with saving the images to our file server.
Yeah, we need to. Maybe we just duplicate all the images. Maybe they're not all linked initially or something, but we need to be. I know we're going to need to be able to tell people it's on IPFS, and whatever
Yeah,
we
but
can.
having it on IPFS and the images information on the NFT is not possible because NFT is created by the pack manager contract. We as a developer or as the provider or seller of the packs do not issue the NFTs. So pack manager contract actually have only three properties, that is edition, foil, and the type ID. So we cannot determine the IPFS CID of the images from these three information. To do that, we have to make a huge database, actually potentially huge database. So I think that will require some work to do. That's why I have gone with the traditional way of saving the images to our file server.
Right, but
That
I'm
way every
saying
image is
uh,
predictable.
version one, whatever we do, version one can be different. So version one, I'm suggesting we just build when they upload every single image, we create a zip file and then we put that zip file on IPFS somewhere, and we can say all of these images are saved on IPFS, and it's not per NFT.
We can do that in another way, like we can make an interface available where like so that in the last images, when NFT creator actually uploads all the images, they can upload 300 MB at once. There is a size restriction per images, that is 500 kilobytes, just to make it more user friendly. When the user opens the pack, it doesn't take a lot to load the images. So I can make an interface that they can actually upload those images to IPFS, and then maybe make a list available that these images are also saved on the IPFS, but not per NFT basis, but as a whole.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's totally possible.
Yeah.
I have done it in the case of NFT showroom,
Yeah.
but NFT showroom, that is per NFT basis. Here we can also generalize all the NFTs and then upload each and individual images or each unique images to the IPFS.
The foils are working on this too, and I can have more than one foil type.
Yep, that also works.
Is a foil?
So when I will be working on the open actions, I will be able to test all of these in action. So right now it works. I am not sure how it will show up in the UI because that's not done yet.
Okay. You think this is done this week? I mean, it looks like it's pretty well progressed.
Yep, surely this week.
All right, that's awesome. Have you looked into adding blogging at all? Have you like done any research in that or poked into that at all?
Still, I haven't had time to look into that, but I think that would be better if we make a separate site for that or separate projects for that, because Tribal Dex is in and itself is a huge project, and then adding blogging might double its size and will be very hard to manage in future.
Well, we got to figure out how to get blogging and NFTs in the same website.
Yeah, we might need to make a separate project for that. NFT will be there. Maybe the NFT will be controlled from Tribal Dex, but will be listed on the Tribe website, the newly created Tribe website. But they might need to be managed from the Tribal Dex to better manageability of the Tribe site.
Yeah, I think it's better if everything lives on all in one for the tribe, but that's the front end. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just a front end thing. Everything else is actually working on Hive-Engine, so I can make the same UI or copy the same UI to the Tribe sites as well.
So when you think about the blogging project, how long do you think that'll take to implement?
If I go by the condenser or the size of the condenser, then I think 1 month to MVP.
That's a lot.
And that's me guessing from the size of the condenser and the Tribe site we are currently using.
Are there ways to combine what we're doing on the Tribes 1.0 with all the NFT stuff and put that into one website cleanly somehow?
The condenser is coded in React, so I have no prior experience working with React, so can't say much about that.
Okay. What do you guys think the minimum viable blogging project is? Is it authoring? Is it viewing? It has to be all of it? Probably has to be all of it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it has to be all of it. Otherwise, to post, people may not want to go to a separate website. Or to view the post, people may not want to go to a separate website.
Right. That makes no sense. Okay. What about something like a Twitter sign up and like account creation on the back end? Is that an easy project or a hard project?
That's a moderate project. If we can manage the account creation tokens,
Um, trying to think through what's best here. Well, number one that's best is just getting the NFTs out and getting Pack Manager up and running. And I think we have to get into blogging. I think we have to have a site where you can blog. It looks tribal decks like, and then NFTs live on the side so that they're all embedded in one big place.
so I will start working on that next after Pack Manager.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there is also the URC20 integration left on the tribal decks, so I have to get to that as well.
Yeah, that should come right after Pack Manager, but that's a pretty small thing, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe the
we also have like airdrop and claim drop. Like I know those contracts are built, but I don't think there's any interface for them. Those should live on tribal decks too.
yeah, there is actually many other contracts that don't have the UI on tribal decks. So maybe those will be done after the blogging project.
Well, those could be done even before that. Um, you know, this is where it gets tricky to know what's best. Um, h- how long does it take you to go put? How long would it take to build an interface for like the airdrop or claim drop? Do you think?
I haven't looked at the contract, so can't say the exact estimates. But the contract looks simple, so maybe half a week.
Yeah, Pack Manager's a beast. Um, yeah, I'm thinking it's low hanging fruit. But low hanging fruit doesn't really help me because the thing that we need to get out is like Tribes 2.0, and everything else needs to be secondary to that. So let's get Pack Manager done. Let's get ERC20s done, and then let's focus on the blogging and get blogging and NFTs together, and then we can come back and circle around and get. I think hopefully by then Don will get not only the Dow contract done, but a couple others, and like there's the having roles, kind of like witnesses, but they're not actually producing like node. They're not running nodes or producing data, producing blocks. They're just paid by the ecosystem. So there's like lifestyle improvements that I want to make, but I really want to get the minimum viable project or product out for blogging and NFT creation. So I guess look, if all the components if like every single piece of creation doesn't live in the same spot, that's fine. Let's just figure out what is the lightest, easiest version that we can create that gets blogging done and NFT markets right next to it, and then we can there'll be like infinite amounts of work to go tack onto that to make it more and more badass.
Yeah, sure thing. So after Pack Manager and ERC20, blogging is next for me.
Yeah, yeah, and then if there's little bits of and actually it before ERC20, I need you to go spin up another site. Have a partner who's connected to a bunch of Grammy-winning artists, and we want to go make a music site. So, along the way, in your spare time, just kind of spin up another, showroom Lenzy clone.
Sure thing.
All right. You think you'll get that done by Friday?
The Pack Manager contract?
No, the spinning up another site.
Yeah, depends on how fast I can do the Pack Manager. Maybe
Okay.
after after 2-3 days, surely.
Okay, yeah, pack manager comes first. Let's get that out. That's critical, and it's looking really good. That is a lot of stuff to handle, and it looks like you're doing it quite well. So thank you for your work on that. When I do, if I upload the skins, which could be the foils, um, I guess maybe skins is in there, maybe it's not, I don't know. But when I'm uploading things like that, they're each, I'm not uploading like an image and the skin separately. It's all one file, correct?
Yeah, it's all one file. Like if we want to have a gold card, then we have to upload a gold version of that card. It's not skin, it's a full image.
Okay. Do skins live in this? Are we able to manage skins through like the appearance will be different on all these things?
I'm not sure what you mean by skins.
Well, in some of these collections, like the Garbage Pail Kids, or actually Blockchain Heroes have like 6 different foil types, roughly. I mean, maybe I just think of them as foil types.
Yeah, foils are handled with this.
So,
So for that, they have to upload a separate images. The UI will decide which image to show based on the NFT data.
and those things can I upload GIFs?
Right now, it's only PNG to make the images URL predictable.
All right. One of the next improvements on this will be GIFs, so that we can have animation be part of these.
Yeah, that's possible too if we provide a NFT specific config from our backend to the UI. Then we can actually upload GIFs or whatever format the project needs.
Yeah, MP4s too. Because the music, right? The music one is probably all selling individually, but like, the sooner that we can get Pack Manager integrated into Lensy, into NFT Showroom, and into this new music site.
Those will be using the vanilla NFT contract because I don't think Pack Manager can serve their purposes.
Say that again?
Yeah, NFT Showroom and Lensy like websites should use the vanilla NFT contract because Pack Manager as it's set up cannot serve their needs.
Why not?
Because those need to have custom properties. Like the properties of NFT Showroom and Lensy is different, totally different.
Okay.
You could always add more properties. I mean, the pack manager
with
contract requires
set
those specific properties, but you can always add other stuff onto it that other contracts would use and such.
Yeah, that's also possible with using the set properties method on the NFT contract. But for the simplicity's sake, I think using the vanilla NFT contract is better. That gives the developer or the site owner more control over the NFTs.
Yeah, I mean, as we're rolling this out, it's okay. Let's just get whatever functions up first. But I think it's going to need MP4 and GIFs, and I think we're going to need it to be backwards compatible with NFT Showroom, Lensy. I have somebody that's interested in operating Zood, so that might be a thing again.
I was wondering whatever happened to that.
Yeah, it just took a break. But yeah, Zood might come back alive. We'll see. Okay. Right. So finish Pack Manager, spin up a site, ERC20s, and then blogging. Sound about right, Riaz?
Yep.
All right. Bait, why don't you tell us about mobile development?
Okay, good afternoon, guys. I'm finally done with the mobile development, and I'm planning to push Yeah, it's afternoon for me, Riaz. I'm planning to push the Android version to review immediately after this meeting. I was actually doing the final cleanup for Android because I used an iOS first approach regarding the design. So that was what I was doing. But by the end of the meeting, I'll be pushing to the Play Store. So I think the review should not take as long because we already had one app pushed initially. So Android should be going live today or maximum tomorrow morning, depending on the period of approval. But the package itself is done and it should be going live. So the next thing is the paper doll project. So I've been trying to work my head around the design. So I actually came up with something. I don't know if this matches the expectation of what you want the project to look like. So on the right will be the different packs, and when the user equips the avatar, is going to actually generate the various packs that the avatar contains, various objects on the pack to the body of the avatar. So I don't know if that works for you. Then the menu bar and so on. So this is going to be what the actual screen where everything's going to be going on will look like.
I
How the
like
meant to
this.
go.
Mancer,
Okay.
what do you think? He's typing. DeFi Dolly, good. Yeah, I think this looks great. I think we have too few. So you have like the inventory screen, which is on the far right, and then you have like
Yeah.
the equipped pieces that are like just slightly to the right of the doll. I think you're going to have to
Yeah.
move the doll further left and set up more of the equipable pieces because I think there's enough accessories. There's like belt, pants,
Yeah,
shoes,
sure.
socks.
Yeah, there are
Uh,
a whole lot of them. So what I'm thinking is to actually implement maybe a scroll bar at the top of where you get to select which equipment, because if I decide to add each one of them, it's going to actually almost fill up the screen. So there might be an horizontal scroll bar to actually help users glide through to see what's left. There will be an indicator to let them know it's actually scrollable.
so Mancer's asking is, can you drag and drop? We should be able to drag and drop, and if you drag and drop, um, I guess I think it needs two actions. Drag and drop just like equips the doll, equips the doll, equips the doll. Nothing happens. But then once you're
Yeah.
happy with how it looks, there should be a button that's at the bottom that's stake, and then you'll stake the cards, and that will actually start the like it'll send a command to keychain.
Okay, I think that works.
Because the goal here is that like I'm thinking that this is gonna be a staking project. This is DeFi, right? So the hat you stake, the hat will have a hash power, and the doll will have some kind of base stats. Do you think that we can handle more than one doll in this project per account?
Yeah, I think that's possible, but I'm not very sure I'm going to, get that done. But for now, it's just a single dollar pledge generated off from high the amount of whatever packs you have.
Yeah, I mean, if you in the gray box to the top right, if we just had an arrow that was left and right, then you could cycle through other dolls, and then each one would
Oh,
have their own equipment.
okay, I think that works. Then if a pack is already used on a particular doll, you can't use it on the other dolls.
Correct.
Okay.
So, like, once I equip that hat, the hat should be in the hat space on the right,
Should be grayed out. Yeah.
visually on the girl, and then I guess in my inventory, I should be able to click all um, and remaining. Right? So if I click all, I can see every item that I have, and I click remaining, and I can see like, I had 4 hair pieces, but 3 of them are used. So I guess this chick gets this error.
Okay, that works. I say that works. That works. It's possible.
Yeah, I think this is starting to look good. All right, so Hive-Engine Android is this week. Is Hive-Engine iOS this week too?
Not very sure as regarding that, but the both designs are ready. I don't really need to do much regarding them, whichever one I'll be pushing to each store. But I think if the Apple team actually smiles on us, everything should go live this week. But for Android, I'm certain that this before within the next 8 to 13 hours, it should go live.
All right, that's pretty good. How long do you think the front end of DeFi Dolly will take? Is this a week, a month, multiple months? What's your anticipated time frame?
Yeah, given the fact that this is actually my first time working with the various smart contracts, so I think it might take about 2 to 4 weeks, my own bare estimate. So I think that's what it might take. Just given my initial estimate, it could be faster, but 2 to 4 weeks is my very very good estimate because the UI is actually going to go very smoothly. I actually scheduled a meeting with Riaz today to let him walk me through and talk me through the various contracts and how he handles them from the front end point of view. So I think depending on how the meeting goes, I think it should be faster, but it all depends.
So my hope for this is that we use the pack manager to open them, and then we have the NFT influenced mining contract, and we can use the mining contract to set up the hash power of each item. So like the dolls would have certain bases, and then the modifiers would be all the different pieces of equipment. And that sets your overall mining of how powerful your staking is. Does that sound doable? That I think this question is mostly for Mancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we need to work out the details and particulars of everything, but at first thought, it sounds like a doable thing.
Okay. All right, sweet. Other stuff you want to talk through, Bait?
Yeah, I think that'll be all from my end for now. Like if there's any further, and then the other thing is if Kenneth is done with her images, like the last time you said she isn't done, that she'll be finishing hopefully this week. But as long as she keeps the images name consistent, all I just have to do is maybe work on the extension of each file types.
And so one of the things I'm very anxious to do with this project, I don't know if it has to be right at release, but I'm anxious to make it so that I want to have individual brands be able to go make doll parts. So right now we got Kanet to go make all of the designs that she's put in, but I want it so that Rue 21 and American Eagle Outfitters and Old Navy and JCPenney and Michael Kors and all the whatever designer is out there can go create their own fashion brand and be able to go put that together. Could you walk me through how we could integrate that?
Getting others to add their own custom avatar parts.
Yes.
Okay, I think that should be possible, but that's going to be eventually. I don't think it's going to. We are going to want to add that to the initial version of the project, which is the MVP. So that should be going forward.
Okay. Mancer, can you think through that on what would that look like for us? How do can I use Pack Manager to stake tokens on the tokens when they're created?
No, Pack Manager itself doesn't have anything to do with staking, but you could do that as a follow-up operation, kind of similar to the way that Farmer and Mythical do it. So you could take that kind of mechanism and then imagine it as a secondary step.
I don't quite understand. So what I'm hoping for is that Macy's comes in and they say we're going to go make 20 accessories. They make their 20 accessories, they put them in a pack, they open the pack, and somehow during that process, the DeFi Dolly token has to get staked into all the different pieces in order for the pieces to provide the benefit that we're looking for.
So I'm imagining that the various pieces would all be kind of data properties on the NFT that you would set in a certain way. And then the act of staking it, and the way that works for Mythical and Farmers is staking is basically equivalent to delegation to the game's account. So in Mythical, you stake something by having it delegated to the Mythical account. So you would do the same thing for DeFi Dolly. You'd have some game account set up for it, and then it would delegate to that account, and then you say that it's staked.
Right,
And
but
I
what
think
I'm talking about here is like, you know how in Splinterlands we have cards and those cards have DEC embedded into them. So I want to
Right.
have a DeFi Dolly token, and then I want to make it so that if Macy's wants to generate cards, they actually have to purchase that DeFi Dolly token and embed it into all of the NFTs.
Oh, so you mean like a fungible token contained within the NFTs?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's not supported by Pack Manager. We'd have to do some additional development to add that in.
Does that sound like a monster thing to add, or does that sound?
Probably not. It's just another creation option that you would add. I mean, the NFT protocol supports that. It's just the Pack Manager contract itself doesn't use that particular feature. So that's just one more thing that we could add to the creation options for the Pack Manager.
And then Riaz, or I guess Bait's asking, what about combining? So with Splinterlands, we have, if you take 15 or 11 Lords of Darkness, you can get a max level Lord of Darkness. Can we take any of these other NFTs and combine them into something more powerful?
Sure, we can certainly do that. So that's done with data properties. So to take the Splinterlands example, when you combine cards, you have a data property called the level of the card, and combining cards increases the level for one particular base card, and then the other cards that were combined into that card just disappear. So you're only left with one card in the end. So we would do something similar. We would have a data property that is whatever thing you want to combine. And then you would say if you're combining 15 NFTs, then you burn 14 of them, send them to null. And then the one NFT that represents the combined card, you modify whatever data property you have to indicate that it's combined. And that's it. So combining is not like a protocol level action. It's a bit of application logic. You're burning some tokens and then changing a data property in a certain way.
All right, so that doesn't need any smart contract development work. That just needs Bait to account for that somewhere, and then for the NFT mining contract to use that property to say if it's level 4, then it gets this bonus.
Yep, exactly.
And is this all stuff that we can do today, or is this stuff that still needs development?
Well, you'd need to add the application logic to do that. But, I mean, there's no technical things in the way of that.
The data lives on chain. Is that something that we can force to live on chain without serious programming?
I'm not sure exactly what you mean. We're talking about data properties for the NFT, which are on-chain properties. So you have some data property like level or whatever. And if you take 15 NFTs and you combine them, then you set that level property to 15, say, and you burn 14 of those. So you're just modifying an on-chain data property on the NFT.
Okay, so when we do, can this data property live in the pack manager contract as it is now?
This would be something separate from the pack manager. So you would have whatever application is using these things, just add that as a separate data property. The pack manager doesn't really need to be aware of it. It can be done as like a separate step by the application outside of the pack manager.
Bait, do you think you know what you would need to do to allow for combining?
Yeah, I'll play around it. If I need any help, I'll ask questions.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
you just need to know how to do two NFT operations. You need to know how to burn things, and you need to know how to edit data properties, and that's it. Then it's just all application logic.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Well,
Then in that case, I think I'll be needing them. The park manager contract and every other thing is documented, I believe. The
Yep, all the
documentation are available.
documentation is there for the various contract actions. You'd want to look at the NFT contract documentation for that.
Okay, I'll take a look.
okay. Well, this is sounding promising. So that maybe in a month we can launch DeFi Dollies and have it be staking and have it be, one item in one slot per doll, and combine NFTs to make a more powerful NFT. That all sounds excellent. Now we'll have some mobile apps. I don't know, guys. We're coming along. It's a small team, but we're kind of killing it. Okay. I think I'm good for right now. Let's crank some stuff out and see what we can come up with. Any final thoughts before I close this thing down?
Nope, I'm good for now.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for your work, guys. Let's get this thing. Let's get all these different pieces moving, and let's try to get. Let's get ERC20s live. Let's get the Binance Smart Chain stuff live. Let's get Pack Manager live, and let's get the mobile app live, and push on towards DeFi Dollies in the next game. Sounds pretty awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you for your hard work. Let's keep going, and thank you, everyone. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.